and yields back. Chair now recognizes Mr. Lynch from Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Administrator Criswell. As evidenced recently by Hurricane Helene and Milton and the catastrophic consequences, we continue to witness historic flooding that is triggered by extreme weather events. In our own state of Massachusetts, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has already predicted that my area, the Boston area, is expected to endure between 12 and 19 days of high tide flooding that we've never experienced before. That's the most in the Northeast region. The Nonpartisan Congressional Research Service also reports that floods are the most common and costliest natural disasters across the United States. However, flood damage is not covered typically by traditional homeowner insurance, and moreover, most private insurers don't even offer flood coverage. Instead, as you know, most of our constituents procure flood insurance for their homes and businesses from the National Flood Insurance Program, which you administer. It's a federal government program that provides more than $1.3 trillion in insurance coverage and 4.7 million policies to residents, mostly in flood zones, in over 22,000 communities nationwide. Unfortunately, Madam Administrator, to the detriment of both victims of flood damage and the American taxpayer, this program is currently more than $20 billion in debt, especially after having to borrow substantial funds from Treasury, as you noted earlier, to cover a series of devastating flood seasons, including going back to 2017, which became the costliest season on record and included Hurricanes Maria, Harvey, and Irma. Administrator, FEMA administers the National Flood Insurance Program, which is set to expire in a few weeks of this year. Can you offer us your thoughts on how the financial position of this program is impacting your ability to support homeowners and businesses that are recovering from flood damage?
The National Flood Insurance Program is one of the only ways that a homeowner can get the necessary coverage to protect their investments. And the National Flood Insurance Program has not had a multi-year authorization in many years. It has been from CR to CR. Right. Without a multi-year authorization, we will continue to struggle year after year to meet the claims that individual homeowners have. And we have offered up with our reauthorization proposal 13 measures, I think it's 13, steps that we can take that will be able to make the program financially solvent and make sure that everybody has access to this through an affordability framework as well. As we know, not everybody can afford flood insurance, yet it's their #1 resource and tool to help protect their investment.
So we seem to keep falling behind with these 1-year, I think it's called as-needed funding. Mm-hmm. You don't have a multi-year program where you can actually try to get ahead of some of this stuff. So we're still dealing with Hawaii. We're still dealing with some of these 2017 disasters that we haven't caught up to. One thing I wanted to ask you is that, we seem to compartmentalize these disasters. We have, we've got, because of the impacts of climate change, we've got, these epic rainfall events that's causing flooding. We've got tornadoes, we've got hurricanes, we've got drought-induced wildfires, and our flood insurance program only covers certain people or targets certain people in flood zones. Would it be better, would it be more efficient if we looked at rather than having a flood insurance program, we had a broader disaster insurance program where we have more people paying into that? It might cross-subsidize some of the costs that we're seeing as a result of these disasters, and might allow a break to the taxpayer instead of having to go in and bail out people who might repeatedly be experiencing flood damage from storm surges in areas where they may not wisely relocate.
Yeah. I mean, the National Flood Insurance Program is available to anybody. And I often have said, if it rains where you live, it can flood where you live. There are only certain areas that are mandated to purchase flood insurance, but everybody has the opportunity to purchase flood insurance. as far as making that a broader, more catastrophic insurance program, I think that's something that we should be having conversations with the private sector about, because that's what they should be providing.
All right, thank you. Time has expired, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.